which we are now facing. And if you go to the Philippines, what's happening now in the Philippines is that every family has a drug problem, including my family. If you know why I am here right now, I came from very far. I live in Germany, but I traveled all the way here to voice my words, to voice what is really happening in the Philippines. This is not just a human rights issue. Ms. Calamard is right, this is also a public issue. And now my point is that you need to look at the other side of the story. I appreciate the effort of the journalist. It was well presented. However, the real scenario, mentioning that 7,000 were killed with this drug problem or this war on drugs, it is not. When you check on the details, when you do, I urge all of you to do your research, because this 7,000 killings is not just all about drugs. These are all the murders happening since the president came into power. And I tell you, the last administration, this extrajudicial killings has been happening.
Yes.
And it is not just the time of the president.
Yes.
The president is so angry about the drug problem because it is so huge and you cannot imagine it. You see the people, the very poor people. I have a friend, 12-year-old. 12-year-old is using drugs. That's how difficult human rights. I urge you, during the term of the president, since he came to power in July, there are 1 minute. There are 1,900,000 drug surrenderies. The United Nations, we urge all of you to help us with this problem. You come to us, help us with this health problem. Build rehabilitation centers for these people. You see all those accused of drugs in the prison. It is catastrophic. If you're concerned about people, you go to the Philippines and help us build rehabilitation centers and stop meddling with the political affairs of the Philippines, because the case is in court and you need to respect the law of the Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I just want to say one thing, because if it has not been clear, then it's my mistake. There's a completely different issue. Talking about drug policies and prevention of drug policies is a completely different issue from dealing with extrajudicial killing and executions. That is the issue that is debated here. That is the issue that is debated in the UN. We have great empathy for the drug problems in the Philippines, but this, and again, I don't know who wants to answer you, but the debate is about, and the discussion is about, not about drug policy and the fact there is a drug problems. Even the senator herself said the failed drug policies of the previous administration. So anyway, Philippe, you want to answer, or Rose, who wants to answer?
Well, the senator is not debating that there really is a drug problem, even a serious drug problem in the country. But you're correct. It's a totally different issue as regards EJK. The problem is that there's perception that the drug war is being conducted with legal shortcuts, with highly questionable procedure that disregards due process and disregards basic criminal procedure. That's really the bottom line issue here. That's what the senator is totally against.
Could you agree with this?
Microphone.
Hello? I don't have the microphone.
Madam, can you agree with the position of the Senator's Chief of Staff?
Yeah, I understand that they're concerned of how they deal with these people being killed. So, my point is that this is a growing problem in the Philippines. And what we want you to do is to take action, not condemn what we are doing.
Outside
You
of
can
the
take
law?
action.
Do you want to take action outside of the law?
No, it's within the rule of law, of course.
Is it?
Within the rule of law, of course. The president, you are quoting the president, I am willing to kill them. But the real statement is that if you are destroying my country, if you do drugs, then I am willing to kill. That's the criminals when they fight. That's the well, it's not right to I understand what's the concern, that it's not right to kill or to advise people to do the killing, but that's quite the strategy of how they deal with the problem.
Thank you very much for this statement.
Can I just say something? I'm very grateful you're raising this point, because since September, I and another special rapporteur have tried to have a dialogue with your government about the fact that yes, we understand that there is a problem in the Philippines, and two, we want to see how we can assist the Philippines in addressing the problem within the rule of law. There are people around the world, including within the United Nations, that are willing to come to the Philippines. I'm not talking about myself necessarily, others that are willing to come and present to the government the strategies that have been used around the world to tackle drug trafficking and drug addiction, and to present to the President and others what has worked best under certain environments. And so far, the government has not agreed to that proposal. So I hear you, but I think it's up to you to convince your government that there are people who wants to help, who wants to propose, who wants to offer the strategies that will not involve killing 8,000 individuals. There are alternatives. Please convince your government to listen to us, invite us. We will present those alternatives, including to the public, and then you can decide whether there are better ways. And I can assure you, there are more effective ways to tackle drug trafficking and drug addictions, which do not involve this bloodthirsty epidemic, which is really poisoning the society.
It's on. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the word. Maybe quickly, I'm a German citizen. I'm frequently in the Philippines. I have a lot of friends there. I'm supporting a little farm there, and I believe I know a little bit how it looks on the ground. What the lady just said, I can all support this. I think we Europeans and you people out there, you do not really understand what the situation is. I'm not defending extrajudicial killing. This is clear. But you must understand that people, they are fed up. Every family has somebody. And 20, 30, maybe 40% of the people in the Philippines, they have no human rights. Where was the UN before for fighting these people?
Yes,
bravo.
Yes.
It went all to the Aquino clan. Let me please finish. The Philippines are owned by 4,200 families. I was assuming 40. The ambassador of the Philippines just in Geneva a few months ago told me it's 110 families. Doesn't matter how many. There is a much bigger picture behind this. What you are presenting is not about human rights.
Yes,
it's
that's
about
true.
getting rid of Duterte.
Yes.
And if we're getting rid of Duterte, this country will never clean up.
Yes,
You
that's
will
true.
never have the chance to have a country where you find law and order.
Thank you. Bravo. Thank you.
It just concerns you when you said you could not go on the invitation. It just shows that everything is fitting in the background. If you really want to help, then you should have not making announcements months and months before Duterte you are a murderer based on data which I would questioning. If you look to this,
Sorry, sir, but
Senator De Lima.
you're talking without knowing. I have never, ever called President Duterte using those words.
No, not you, but the UN did.
Well, then don't accuse me. I am an independent human rights expert. I am not representing the United Nations. That's the first thing. The second thing, You cannot say that the UN did not care about the Philippines before the President Duterte was elected. This is not true at all. I'm looking at my work as a special rapporteur on extrajudicial executions. This special mandate has gone to the Philippines on a number of occasions to report on the extrajudicial executions. There has been multiple reports from the UN far before Duterte was elected about the regime of impunity. There has been multiple reports about the impunity related to the killings of journalists.
And what happened? And what happened? What was done? What happened? Nothing.
That's
But
a
you-
genocide.
Yes.
You are saying the UN didn't say anything. Of course the UN has said something, and they continue to say it, and they will continue to say it, whether or not it's President Duterte or somebody else. I want to insist that as far as I am concerned, it doesn't matter who is in power in the Philippines. It's not driving my agenda at all. Frankly, I don't care. I mean, I'm very pleased some of you are supporting President and others are opposing him. He was democratically elected. He's a democratically elected representative of the country. I engage with him. I have absolutely no hidden agenda regarding President Duterte, and I'm very pleased to hear that he's supporting the poor. You know, it's certainly a human rights agenda for me. My point is, support the poor, support women's reproductive rights, and do not kill the drug addicts or alleged drug addicts. I mean, there is a contradiction.
On behalf of the festival and what we're doing here, we're offering a platform of discussion when we, as we promote and defend human rights everywhere, anytime, anywhere. That's what we're doing here. It's a free speech. None of us is engaging in anything else. It's not you people. It's Rose Trujano, it's Philippe Sorelli, it's Agnès Callamard-Claude, and myself. It's not you people. Thank you, sir. Please.
Can I take the floor? Okay. I'm a Filipino. I live in Switzerland for more than 30 years. I often travel to my home country, and 3 times sometimes in a year. I would like to thank first and foremost for those who are the panelists, and for the organizer, and those who are here, for your concern and for taking time. I would like to highlight 3 things here, and more focus on the solution. We could say anything, there will always be people say that's wrong or right. I come from a family where I have 4 family members victims of drugs. I lost them. One of my youngest brother is still in prison. He was a pain in the family, many years. At the age of 7, he got already the first taste of drugs. In school. My sister-in-laws could not even go to work, have to put their profession aside because they're scared that their kids would get something. Drugs flooding the country for so many years. I've lost mine. And if you people tell that what's going on in the country, it's terrible. Yes, it's terrible. And this is now a new norm, potentially, for some people. For you, probably scary. But let me tell you, there is a new beginning in this country.
Yes.
As mentioned by Mr. Sawale, people are awakened.
Yes.
Rose, thank you for informing the public what's going on, why people choose this guy. There was a big country for many years. The Filipinos have been subdued. The Filipinos were just forced to say yes.
Yes.
We have been under the Spanish for 400 years.
Yes.
Then came the Americans, came the Japanese.
If I may,
Ma'am.
I don't want to
No,
express
sir.
Let us stop. This is a debate. Let her.
Okay, what I'm trying to come here is please understand, know the country, and then you can help. You can help, and we need help. Let me encourage you to consider the language issue here. some of those that confuse the society, our people, because we have so many cultures, we have so many islands, we talk almost 80 languages, we get also confused. We also have our own debates. Now this goes out of the world, and it's a bigger problem, communication. Ms. Calamard, I would like to encourage you to
Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Mayang gabi sa inyong tanan. Ano ba sa Japanese? Kumbawa? Kita mo din yung crowd. Kita mo din yung mga kasama natin, no? Anyway, nandito ako kasi I had to attend a conference ng mga pension funds. Hosted ng Japan. Pero nag-participate tayo. Meron din mga taga-Korea. So yun ang reason na dumating ako dito. Pero sabi ko, I would have to take the time to see all of you. Sensya na hindi na-announce ng maaga. Kasi, alam mo na, trabaho. Sinisweldohan ako ng gobyerno, di ba? So, priority ko yun. Umuwi ako, sobrang pagod na. But one time, sabi ko talaga, piniem ko si Maris, sabi ko, I want to see the Dutertista sa the DDS in Tokyo. First of all, why? Because una sa lahat, I want to thank you. Alam mo naman siguro mo, palagi tayong I never really had a chance to thank everyone eh. Kasi yung nanalo na, naging busy na kami organizing, di ba? Tapos, na-appointed pa ako dyan sa SSS, so na-notice nyo hindi ako kasi active sa Facebook dahil nga may obligasyon ako. Sinisweldohan ako. No? But I want to thank you talaga because first of all, hindi tayo manalo kung wala ang OFWs. That's one reason. Not just the votes, no? Kasi yung votes, maybe there were, syempre Mindanao, ang daming boto, Visayas, and even Metro Manila, and Luzon. But yung in terms of passion supporting the President, grabe ang passion. Grabe yung passion nyo. And that helped really give energy to kaya nga ako wala akong tulog kasi imagine si Secretary Cabsec ginawa sa social media ko in-assign. So, alam mo yung social media 24 hours. Natutulog yung Amerika, gigising naman dito, di ba? Tapos 1 hour later, kayo naman dito. 1 hour earlier, kayo dito sa Japan, di ba? Now, yun, to thank you. And now also because very important na we continue to support the President. Right? I mean, marami namang, ako naman, hindi naman ako, to be honest, maraming maingay dyan, maraming umaatake dyan, pero wala naman silang totoo talagang charges, di ba? Wala silang ebidensya, ulit-ulit lang. At wala silang capacity dahil wala naman silang popular support. Alam mo, nanalo tayo mga 60% lang yata. Or 35% lang ng boto. Pero ngayon, 86% na yung approval rate, 90%. So what that means is yung support ni President Duterte halos nagtatlong 3 times than those who voted. Diba? Pero anyway, okay naman yan, demokrasya. Sige, magsalita sila. Kaya lang minsan, di ba, nakaka-suspicious ka kung may ginagawa pa silang plano. Now, I know that they will never succeed, Mon. Why? Again, because of the OFWs. You will not allow it, di ba? Kasi nakita nyo na how it is to live in a country where governance is okay.
Yes.
Right? The trains work, the streets are clean, people are taken care of. Papayag pa ba kayo na babalik tayo?
Insurance lang, ang ganda eh.
Yun lang naman ang gusto ng mga taong lumalaban kay President Duterte, di ba? Gusto nang ibalik sa dati dahil masarap ang buhay nila dati. But anyway, enough of politics kasi I don't want to preach to the converted, no? Importante lang, what do we do to continue to support the President? Number one, let's continue to be active on social media. Believe it or not, yung eleksyon sa Pilipinas, nandun yung mga tao daw ni Donald Trump. Nag-observe paano natin ginawa ang social media. It was very, very, very successful. Ngayon, marami na taga-Facebook na Dutertista. Lumipat na tayo sa Twitter, di ba? So, pero sabi ko, wag natin iwanan yung Facebook. Teritoryo natin yun eh. Let's defend it with all our capacity. But let's take new ground. Kasi dati yung mga kalaban natin, di ba? Dominant sila sa Twitter, kaya napaano nila yung foreign press. Pero ngayon, ang dami ng Duterte na nasa Twitter. Ang audience kasi ng Twitter, international.
Maraming
Maraming yung mga intellectuals, nag-iisip, yung mga those naman that are genuinely questioning kung tama ba itong mga policies, and they deserve also an intellectual answer na. For example, yung EJK, sabi niyo EJK. Alam mo ba yung anong ibig sabihin ng EJK? Ang ibig sabihin ng EJK is state-sponsored. Meaning, yung presidente mismo nagsabi na, okay, itong gawin nyo. Walang EJK sa Pilipinas. Ang meron is vigilante killing. Yan, hindi naman, aaminin naman natin yan. Nakikita naman natin. Meron, di ba? Pero sa totoo lang, nagpapatayan lang yung mga drug dealers na yan. Di ba? Oo, hindi yun EJK. Pero siguro merong iba din dyan, di ba? Kaya nga sinuspend, no? Pero pabalik na yata ngayon yung di ba? So that's the way we can answer it by being involved in social media. So continue, but continue dominance in Facebook, but let's expand, let's dominate Twitter. Marami kasi nag-ano din, di ba? Nagtatrabaho. Twitter mas mabilis, di ba? Pero huwag niyong kalimutan, Maris, yung Facebook. Kasi doon naman tayo nanalo, di ba? But now let's take Twitter also. Kaya nag-backfire yung attempt ng mga kalaban natin na i-silence yung Facebook. Kasi ngayon, dominate na rin natin yung Twitter. So that's number one. Number one. Yung Twitter ko at Pompey Lavinia. Number two, get organized. Okay? In the first place, it's good na to help each other. Kasi iba-iba, may nakapag-asawa na ng Hapon, meron namang divorce na from Hapon, di ba? Meron namang bagong dating lang, estudyante. So, even without the president, we should really all be united. But even more so ngayon, dahil we want to protect the gains. Ngayon, may chance tayo ha? May chance tayong becoming a great country, di ba? Yes. Look at Japan. Binomba sila, di ba? I think 60% of Tokyo was destroyed. The buildings. But look where they are now, di ba? Kasi may ambisyon sila eh. Nag-ambisyon sila eh. So, dapat tayo maging ambisyoso din tayo as a country. And the first start of that is being united. No, hindi tayo pwede maging like Japan na homogeneous, di ba? Lahat sila pare-pareho. Hindi pwedeng ganyan. In fact, Japan ngayon, gusto nilang buksan na yung mga advanced thinkers sa Japan. Sabi nila, hindi tayo asenso kung we stay forever na everybody looks the same, everybody talks the same. So, by being united, then we're able to defend also the president. Now, dito, iba-iba naman tayong organization. Okay naman yan, tuloy nyo yan, di ba? Pero siguro you have some kind of ano bang tawagin natin? Coalition or a aggregation, di ba? Like a united, let's say, United DDS or United Dutertisa na lahat ng mga membro kasali, pati Kilusang Pagbabago, di ba? Ng former boss ko na si Kabsek. Diba? Lahat yan, okay yan lahat. Addition naman eh. Addition naman ang importante, diba? So, that's the second thing. Get united, get organized. The third thing is try to learn what you can from other countries, diba? You're here, you see how the trains work. You work for a train company. You see how they do it because you can use that knowledge to help our country. Diba? Alam mo, when Japan was closed at dumating dito yung mga boats ni Admiral Dewey, wala silang magawa. Kaya binuksan nila yung Japan. Kaya yung Emperor Meiji dito, he decided to open it up. At alam mo ba nung ginawa nila? Pumunta sila sa West. Kinopya nila yung industrialization, yung sistema ng West. Kaya lang, in-improve pa nila. Di ba? Nag-focus sila ng quality, lifetime employment before na wala na ngayon, di ba? These were the innovations they made on the Western. So tayo din, let's learn from the Japanese, let's learn from the Americans. Yung kanina may ka-chat akong former secretary ng doktor ko, nasa Italy na siya, di ba? So let's use all of that knowledge to help our country. Now, something personal naman, laki ako ng Cagayan de Oro. Hindi ko man kilala si President Duterte. President Duterte was like, nababasa ko lang sa newspaper. Diba? At saka sabi ko, ano naman ito? Parang cowboy, di ba? Kaya lang yung time na talagang itong election, almost desperate na ako na ano ba talagang mangyayari sa atin if we don't elect a good leader. So doon naman nagsimula sa Facebook, yung relative ko naman, si Peter Lavinia, involved. So, unti-unti akong volunteer hanggang sinabi nila, social media director ka. Sabi ni...
Sir, basahin ko muna po. Marami po kayong comments. We are
ano ba
live,
yung
134 viewers.
Okay.
Wow.
From Abby Malmstrom, watching from Stockholm, Sweden.
Maris.
Wow.
Nasa likod mo.
Yes. We support President Duterte from Lilia.
Sige.
Gagawa daw po ng Twitter si Esther Orongan. Support Duterte. DDS supporter from Canada, Floribel Cuesta. Paano gagawin ang Twitter? Hi, Sir Lavinia from Lydia Abinglac.
Hello.
Watching from London, we support President Duterte. Mabuhay ka, Digong. Ikaw na talaga. Duterte all the way. DDS from Lipa, Batangas. Sayang, hindi ako nakapunta. Nandito pa naman ako sa Tokyo. Salute Mr. Pamela Villa.
Thank you.
We support President Duterte. Appreciate what you have had said. God bless you always. No, tonight, yes, the President.
Walang tigil yan.
Walang tigil
Hello to Dutertistas all over the world. So anyway, again, yun lang naman, di ba? So let's continue to be active, social media, let's get organized, and let's learn from other countries so we can use that knowledge to, let's try to make our country great. Diba? We have a chance to do it. Diba? Imagine mo dito sa Japan, hirap-hirap silang mag-Ingles. Diba? Tayo lahat, marunong. So we have our strengths, but we also have a lot to learn from Japan, and they've been good friends to us, and from what I've heard, they're treating you well here. So, yung iba na in love pa at nag-asawa ng Japanese. Including
sa Korea, di ba? Ang Korea dati, mas mayaman ka ang Pilipinas. So, I lived in Korea for 6 years. So, ang ginagawa pala nila sa mga estudyante, nag-aaral sa ibang bansa.
sa Pilipinas, marami.
Pilipinas, Amerika, ganun. Tapos, hindi sila nagtrabaho abroad. Bumabalik sa bansa nila, doon nila ginamit yung nila. So, tayo naman, baliktad. Nag-produce tayo ng mga mauat ng mga estudyante. Pagkatapos sa kolehiyo, nag-abroad. Ang naka-benefit ng alam natin, kaalaman natin is may ibang bansa.
Yeah, pero iba na yung
Tatawagin na ngayon.
Iba na ngayon yung
Babalik
mga
na yun.
OFWs ngayon, no? They care about the Philippines. And
Yes,
actually, just because nandun ka sa abroad doesn't mean you don't love your country.
yes.
Hindi ako dyan na iniwanan mo yung Pilipinas. Hindi. Kasi natural lang naman na isang lalaki, isang babae would want the best for her family. And if she can earn more, I don't see anything wrong with that. Importante lang is you still continue to love your country, you vote. If you can vote, you're qualified to vote, you vote. And you do what you can to help. Kasi parang kayo na rin yung sales people ng Pilipinas, di ba? Parang I don't think of it na I hope someday umaalis yung Pilipino not because of necessity, but to conquer the world. Diba? To conquer the world.
Travel na lang.
Okay? So, thank you very much, mga Dutertistas. I'll read your comments later, and thank you again, all of you solid supporters. Si Maris, pati anak, tatay, asawa, asawa pala si Chris, di ba? Thank you.
Doble.
Yung iba galing pa
Nagoya. Tokyo.
Kawasaki.
Saitama.
Saitama, Ken.
Next time, I'll let you know earlier. Ha?
Next time
Thank
dapat
you.
sa ano tayo?
Mas bigger crowd.
Diyos ko. Nakakaloka. Nakakaloka na naman ang Rappler, mga kaibigan. Ano ba yun? Nabasa niyo ba yung bagong article ng Rappler? Sabi ng Rappler, sabi sa headline ng Rappler, ayun yung headline. Diba? Ang headline nila, Duterte rejects same-sex marriage for PH. Alam niyo po ba yung sinabi ng Rappler? Ay, ano ba yung sinabi ni Duterte sa Myanmar? Ang sinabi ni Duterte sa Myanmar, ang batas sa Pilipinas, lalaki at babae lang ang pwede ng same-sex marriage. Which is the truth. Ang civil code ng Pilipinas is between men and women lang ang marriage. Wala siya, hindi niya nire-reject. Duterte is simply stating fact. Ang tanga-tanga ng Rappler. Alam niyo, Rappler, magsara na kayo. Mga tarantado kayo dyan. My God. Ang sinabi ni Duterte sa batas sa Pilipinas, lalaki at babae lang ang pwedeng magpakasal. Paano niya i-reject? Eh kahit naman payagan niya, kung yan yung batas, hindi niya magagawa. Gago. Matarantado kayong Rappler kayo. Alam nyo, wala naman nakaahin sa kanya na bill na same-sex marriage para i-reject niya. Ang tanga-tanga ng Rappler. Diyos ko, Rappler, kung ano-ano na lang pinagagawa nyo. Alam nyo, Rappler, alam nyo kung anong problema ninyo. Ang problema nyo, galit na galit kayo kay Duterte sa hindi malamang kadahilanan. Siguro kaya kayo galit sa kanya kasi yung mga kaibigan nyo, ay actually, kaya kayo galit sa kanya at gagawin nyo lahat para masira siya. Kasi kayo ang PR company ni Leni Robredo. Kaya kayo ang gagawin nyo, sisirain nyo siya. Pero uulitin ko, Rappler, Diyos ko, ang linaw-linaw ng pagkasabi ni Duterte. Ang sabi ni Duterte, sa batas sa Pilipinas, bawal ang kasal ay between men and women. Which is right, which is just right. Ang tanga-tanga nyo, magkaiba pa tayo ng Pilipinas sa Pilipinas? Diyos ko, Rappler, huwag nga kayo magpapaandar ng ganyan. O, totoo naman di man na misinterpret ninyo. Tapos maluloka kayo, Rappler, pag kinorek kayo ng mga taong bayan, sasabihin ninyo, binubuli kayo, magkakaroon kayo ng hashtag no place for hate. Chosera, baguhin nyo yan yung mga writers ninyo, pag-aralin nyo ng ng listening comprehension. Yan, hindi lang reading, listening comprehension. Nakakaloka. Kasi kayo, Rappler, hindi kayo nakikinig Di ba? Hindi, you are not really listening to Duterte. Ang ginagawa ninyo, Rappler, uupo kayo at titingnan nyo kung paano nyo matitira si Duterte. Bakit nyo ginagawa yan? Dahil kayo ang PR company ni Robredo. Tigilan nyo yan. Uulitin ko, Rappler, hindi ni-reject ni Duterte ang same-sex marriage sa PH kasi wala namang batas na nakalagay sa mesa niya about that. Huwag kayong tanga. Diba? Ang sinabi ni Duterte sa batas sa Pilipinas, sa civil code, lalaki at babae lang, which is right. Magkaiba yung ni-reject sa in-explain niya yung batas sa Pilipinas. Tigilan nyo yung kabubuhan na yan. Ang laki-laki ng budget nyo, laki-laki ng investment sa inyo ng Pierre Omidyar, saka ng iba pang foreign outfits. Ang tanga-tanga ninyo. Ayusin nyo yan.